Said Hut. Oh, shoot. I already got someone in here. Ha, my mic's on. Sorry, my mic was muted there for a second. What's going on, everybody? I appreciate all you guys for coming through here for the weekly live stream. This is now the third week in a row I've made it here on a Wednesday night. So again, trying to make this a regular thing this offseason. Appreciate all 49 of you for being here. Not really anything too crazy to talk about in terms of breaking news, as has been the case the past couple of weeks, because you had Sean Mannion and then you had Jeff Stoutland leaving. But we do have some news here to go over. So first, I want to say what's up to some people in the chat. We got LG. What's going on, bro? Simply Rex, feel bad for Dolphins fans. I do too. And trust me, that's the first thing we're going to get into. Just give me a second here. Deborah, what's going on? Eagles win it all. Dolphins, KP is great. So good luck. Y'all are cooked. Yeah, man. Again, we're going to talk about that in a second. I mean, we saw you. Let's see who else. Midas, what's going on, bro? Get the Dez, John Page, Trey. Cool. Yeah. Rich Master, what's going on, man? Appreciate you guys all for being here. All right, let's get into the first bit of news. Want to hang out here we're going to shoot for about an hour show tonight, but we're going to see how it goes. I got plenty of stuff to talk about, but let's start with obviously what just happened. So let me pull this up on the screen real fast. But as I'm sure you've all seen by now, Kevin Patullo is officially gone. So let's get that up here. All right, Mike Garafolo reports the Dolphins are hiring Kevin Patullo as their pass game coordinator. Sources say the Eagles retained Patullo after making a change at OC, but gave him the opportunity to search for another gig. He heads to Miami to join Jeff Hafley's coaching staff alongside offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick. So there you have it. Kevin Patullo is officially gone, and I think all of us Eagles fans can agree that this is exactly what we wanted to happen. I don't think any of us really wanted Kevin Patullo to be back here, and I think it was weird. Like when they first fired him, but then they said, "Oh, what was the official report that the Eagles website put out? It wasn't that they fired Kevin Patullo, or maybe it was that they fired Kevin Patullo and they changed it to Kevin Patullo removed as offensive coordinator, but he was still, yeah, they still technically kept him with the team for whatever reason, probably again because of the relationship with him and Nick Sirianni and just the fact that he'd been here for so long. But it was like, what was he really going to do? They hired Josh Grizzard to be the new pass game coordinator. There wasn't what role were they going to give him besides like assistant to the head coach or offensive assistant, which honestly, guys, like I'm sure we can all agree, I don't think that any of us wanted Patullo involved with I don't think any of us wanted him to have anything to do with the offense. So glad to see that he's gone now officially, and we don't even have to worry about that. And for the Dolphins, like I don't understand how you can look at the Eagles offense last year and be like, yeah, that's the guy that we're gonna bring in here to be the pass game coordinator. Like I don't understand that whatsoever. Midas says the Tua CTE mixed with the backyard football playbook mind of KP will be a beauty to watch. Yeah. So I mean, now that you think about it, right? How does that even mix? Because from looking at Mike McDaniel's offense, right, the past 4 years and just looking at what Tua has done, there's been, a lot of throws like in stride, cross the middle, like stuff like that. With Kevin Patullo, are we just spamming hitch routes now down in Miami? Like, how is that adjustment? I don't think that's going to work out. I don't know what Jeff Hafley's doing. I don't know why they decided that was a good idea. Eagles win it all says, I might sound crazy. I wanted to keep him for red zone because the Eagles had the best red zone in the league. Yeah, they did, but I don't think that Kevin Patullo is necessarily a red zone genius. I just think, I mean, if you look at what they did last year in the red zone, it's not exactly rocket science. Like, I understand that. They did have the best red zone offense in the league. It was a historically good red zone offense for the Eagles franchise, but I don't think Kevin Patullo is like a red zone genius or anything like that. I mean, we'll see, but I just feel like if they can run the ball well, if we get Goedert back or if we have a good big body tight end like we did last year, like we can make that work. We'll be fine. LG says my boy Sean's better, 100%. I'm excited to see that Mannion offense, but this is again like this offseason, I think you can see like we're making drastic changes to this offense right now, and maybe in the past, maybe if they weren't having this crazy shift, maybe KP would have stayed with the team. Although, again, I think part of it's just like it'd be weird for him to have to go under a new offensive coordinator after having that position last year and just his old job, pass game coordinator's taken. So, that factors into it as well. But yeah, this just signifies like we are committed to making big changes to this offense, and that's exactly what we need. So that's great news. But yeah, I don't know what the Dolphins are thinking. As far as, I mean, what else is there to really say about this? Like not too much else. I'm curious to hear some of your guys' thoughts on Kevin Patullo officially being gone. I mean, I think we can all celebrate that for sure. Let me see. I got some notes as well. Savage says, if Jalen Hurts gets an extension, how much money do you think it will be? Dude, I've thought a little bit about just like the idea that Jalen Hurts could get an extension, but I haven't really thought about what the numbers would look like yet. So I'll probably talk about that in a future video. So yeah, right now I couldn't really tell you, but at some point I'll have that. Yeah, again, as far as the Kevin Patullo thing goes, I don't think there's really much else to say besides, yay, he's gone. Obviously excited about that. 68 of you guys in here. Make sure you like the stream. I appreciate all you. Simply Rock says Jalen would take a pay cut knowing him. He probably would. I think he do that with the first extension that he got. He took less than he could have gotten because he wanted the team to stay competitive. Midas says KP will be having everyone in the Dolphins meeting room doing that dog face. Let's see if I can find anything else on the Patullo thing. This again, I saw this report and I was already planning to go live anyway, but I wasn't planning on talking about that. So let me see if I can find any other details on what exactly happened or if there's just more expansion by Hold on. Kevin Patullo hate watch tweets out. Kevin Patullo is no longer employed by my football team. It is the dawn of a new day. Look at this meme right here. It's so good. This is a golden meme right here. Oh my gosh. Do you guys remember the I don't know how many of you guys are Sixers fans. They're actually about to play right now, which I'll probably watch that later, but I don't know how many of you guys remember this, but back when Ben Simmons got traded, Joel Embiid tweeted out this meme and it was really, really funny. So I don't know what you guys are talking about in the chat. Let's see here. Anything else about Patullo, and then we can move on to the next topic. Didn't want to talk too long about that because, obviously, like, not much to say. Philly Sports Sufferer says Kevin Patullo and Tua together might be the nastiest football ever played in human history. Again, like, how does that even like mesh? It doesn't mesh well at all. The styles are completely different, and not even, I mean, Kevin Patullo, his style doesn't work regardless. So here's one thing else I want to say. I forgot to say this, and I felt like I was missing something. This is what I wanted to say. So, Kevin Patullo is gone now, right? We're going to see, like, who's responsible for what happened last year with how things look next year. Because, again, this offseason has been about completely changing the offense. Sean Mannion's going to come in here, implement a whole new scheme and system, and bringing in his own coaches and all that good stuff, right? But if you still see remnants of some of the issues from last year, some of the issues from 2023, and even in 2024, because, obviously 2024, that season was incredible. That team, one of the best of all time, but it wasn't a perfect season offensively. So, we're going to be able to see now, was Kevin Patullo the main culprit here with especially the problems in the passing game, or is it Nick Sirianni? Because he's gone now, and I don't know if you guys remember back in 2024, but when Brian Johnson went down to the Commanders and he became their pass game coordinator, they looked pretty good, and people started to point the finger at Sirianni even more. So, I'm just saying, like, we're really going to see now, like, how much of this was Patullo, or, especially now with a new offensive coordinator and new ideas, like, how much of this is Sirianni just continuing to have involvement in the offense. But again, they seem committed to change this offseason, so we're going to see. Patullo had a style losing 100%. Patullo had a style, and it was having one of the worst statistical offenses of all time. They had like historically bad 3-and-out percentage, terrible first and second down yards per play. Like, just, yeah, man. Eagles for life. I pray for Dolphins fans. Yeah, man. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't know what they're doing, and I like Bobby Slowick. He was one of the guys that I thought the Eagles should be interested in, and they should target as an offensive coordinator. But I mean, you got a defensive-minded head coach, and now you got this guy as your pass game coordinator. Like, I don't know. That's not exactly. I wouldn't be super, super optimistic if I were them. Gotta like Lab. I appreciate you, bro. Simply Rex says Patullo was pass game coordinator during Kellen Moore's run, and the pass game was terrible. Hence why we leaned on Saquon on the offensive line. Yeah, 100%. That's what I was saying. So how much of this is Patullo or how much of this is Sirianni? We're gonna find out next year. But there was that one season in 2022 when Shane Steichen was here. Pass game was pretty good. So, we'll see. Again, I mean, this offseason is about change. I think we're going to see drastic changes, but overall, glad Kevin Patullo is gone. So let's get final thoughts on that. Anyone else have anything to say about Patullo going? And then we're going to get into some other stuff. In the meantime, I'll pull up the next thing. Let's see here. I wanted to talk more about all the coaching changes and specifically what has happened, just to recap everything. And we'll keep that brief because I don't think, again, there's not that much to say about that either. But just so everyone has a full recap of what's been going on. Andrew says prayers for Landon. Hope he heals fully and can keep playing the sport he loves. Yeah, man. I mean, that's one of the bigger question marks now this offseason is what's going to happen with Landon Dickerson. And it would be really, really sad to see him have to retire at just 27 years old. So, again, not much else to say besides hopefully he gets healthy. Hopefully he can come back because, he's one of the best guards, one of the best offensive linemen in the league when he's healthy. So not only it would be a shame to see him retire early, but at the same time, like it'd be a huge loss for the Eagles. Like it's hard to we saw this past year when he obviously wasn't at his best and he was banged up the entire season, just how much that hurt the Eagles offense in the run game. So who saw the Lane vid? I think I'm gonna pull that up. I've seen it. I have to go find it. We're gonna talk about that, trust me. All right, let's get to the coaching stuff. So Anthony DeBona does a great job. He put together an updated look at the reported changes to the Eagles coaching staff in 2026, which again, I don't think, like you can see here, new addition is Sean Mannion, offensive coordinator, Josh Goedert, passing game coordinator, Ryan Maffey, run game coordinator, tight ends coach, Chris Cooper, offensive line coach. We talked about that in my last video. And then returning in the same role, here was the big news yesterday. So Jamal Singleton's going to be back as the running backs coach and assistant head coach. But that's a good move, I think. Singleton is very well liked by the players. He's had a ton of success here, ever since he's been here, along with Sirianni. Obviously, like the big name is Saquon Barkley and, the 2,000-yard season last year. But like even the other running backs under Singleton have been very good. He got a 1,000-yard season out of Miles Sanders. He helped DeAndre Swift have his first 1,000-yard rushing season. He helped develop Kenny Gainwell to where he was a really quality backup running back. And then this past year with the Steelers, he was really, really good. And then Tank Bigsby coming in this past year was really good, coming in immediately off a midseason trade. So glad that he's back for sure. The big question mark, or the big, criticism is Aaron Moorhead coming back as the wide receiver coach, which, it's kind of a tough one just because, like, I mean, us as fans, I feel like we have a limited perspective as to how much we can evaluate these position coaches specifically. But for Moorhead, it's like he's been here for a long time and we haven't really seen much development from any of the wide receivers. Obviously you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and those two guys are superstar level players and they're always going to be good. They're always going to get their numbers. But aside from that, you haven't really seen Moorhead develop anybody or help anyone get to that next level. So, you had Rager here. He obviously was a bust. You had why am I blanking? There's names that I'm not remembering. I don't know. Just none of the guys here have really been able. There's, aside from A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, no one else has really been able to stand out. And part of that's just opportunities in the Eagles offense, but also, again, he hasn't really developed anybody. And last year, just the entire wide receiver room in general, I felt like the fundamentals were lacking a little bit. Like some of the effort wasn't there on some of the routes. So there were some drops, which that's obviously not all in the wide receiver coach, but that just goes back to, coaching and how they practice and habits and things like that. So, and there was like false starts from some of the wide receivers, just like little things like that. So I just didn't see why we needed to bring him back, but it is what it is. I do want to point out this, which is another good point from Anthony, which is that obviously we're switching to this brand new offensive scheme and system, and it's like, okay, how do these old coaches from the past era or the previous offense fit into this, like a Aaron Moorhead? Quez Watkins, that was a good one. Yeah, I don't know. That was the one I was forgetting. Quez Watkins. I don't know how I forgot that. I mean, Quez Watkins was a 6th round pick. But he had that one good season, and since then he just kind of like fell off, and obviously had those drops, had big mistakes and big moments. Yeah, and then Jahan Dotson, like I feel like that's just part of too many mouths to feed situation. You got AJ, Devontae, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, but Jahan Dotson I think is a good player, and he just was underutilized here. But you got that. Midas says that he's hyped to see Darius Cooper in a bigger role, which if Dotson does leave, then I would be too. I think that'll be interesting. Somebody Rex says Jalen made Quez look like AJ for that one season. Yeah, I mean 2021, we forget like Quez was really pretty good that year. Fredo says AJ's coming back. Can't wait until he is, so I don't have to listen to all this trade talk. Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's nice to have something to talk about consistently on the channel and have constant updates, but at the same time, I'm pretty sick of it. Like I just want AJ to be back 100%, which I think he will be, based on the most recent comments, which I actually just put out a short, probably like 45 minutes to an hour before I hopped on this live. I think he's going to be back, but let's pull this up here from Anthony. So he says, I was critical of the news that the Eagles are retaining wide receivers coach Aaron Moorhead, yet there was one point I mentioned on Philly Special Livestream. New Eagles run game coordinator, tight ends coach Ryan Mahaffey was the Packers wide receivers coach each of the last 2 seasons. Mahaffey could be a resource that Moorhead can lean on for any questions while he coaches up Philadelphia's wide receiver room in a new offensive scheme. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely valuable having a guy that has experience coaching under Sean Mannion, is familiar with what he likes to do, has obviously, coached the wide receiver position also while having Mannion on staff with him. So I just think, that's valuable. That's going to be something that maybe helps Moorhead along. So it's a good point by DeBona here. But again, nothing too crazy in regards to the coaching stuff. Savage says, wouldn't it be amazing to see Jalen Hurts win MVP? See, when you say that just flat out, it kind of sounds crazy, but it's really not, because Hurts has been in the MVP discussion multiple years, and I would love to see that, obviously. It'd be amazing. And I think it's possible if this offense pans out the way that we hope that it does. But now let's, moving on from the coaching stuff. We are about 23 minutes into the stream already somehow. So I appreciate all you guys for hanging around. But I want to go over some of the news regarding a couple certain players, those being AJ Brown, Lane Johnson, and Brandon Graham, because it seems like they're all trending towards coming back next year, which is obviously fantastic news. So let's where should I start? Should I start with AJ? I could start with AJ. So I don't know if you guys watched my video over the weekend that I put out on Sunday, but I'm sure you've all seen the comments from AJ saying that Philadelphia's home and he's excited about the offensive changes and all that stuff. But so that was obviously great news at the time, and definitely a sign that I think it's a sign that he's more likely to stay than he isn't. Because I was kind of like 50-50 on it. Now I'm definitely leaning much more towards the side that he comes back. But Adam Schefter did comment on that today, so I want to play that for you guys, because I only listened to it once. It's nothing crazy, but he did make a good point. So let me play that. Let me know. I want to test this out. Let me know if you guys can hear this. So this was on 97.5 The Fanatic.
There seemed to be a change in tone as we finally heard from.
Can you guys hear that? Is that loud enough? Here, let me know. I'm going to take a drink of water. I think I have like a little bit of a delay on my stream. It's quiet, but you can hear it. Okay, I'll turn it up a little bit. All right. I'm going to play it.
There seemed to be a change in tone as we finally heard from the previously silent A.J. Brown as he joined a couple of the celebrity football podcasts there on Radio Row. I'm sure you heard people mention his name either in passing or in distinct conversation. Do you think there is potentially a thawing on the horizon with A.J. Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles?
I actually saw A.J. Brown and spent some time with him at the Super Bowl.
That's awesome.
We had some nice conversations. Yeah, we had some nice conversations. I don't know what it's going to mean right now. I think it's too early to say. I would just remind you that at this time last year, Myles Garrett was hell-bent on getting out of Cleveland, and the Dallas Cowboys couldn't wait to sign Micah Parsons to a contract extension. So what happens? Myles Garrett signs a contract extension, and Micah Parsons is traded to Green Bay. So, as we've talked about, as I've tried to say, these things, they're fluid and they change.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly where we're at with this whole thing. I felt like there was the season. Obviously, things didn't go great there for the offense or for AJ in general. He was super frustrated. And right after the season, there's the report saying AJ wants out. AJ requested a trade multiple times. And, everything, even like the day before AJ went on that show with Micah Parsons, you had people saying, oh, it's more likely that AJ gets traded than he doesn't. And all the talk here at Super Bowl week is about AJ Brown getting traded and, all that stuff. And then he comes out and says all that on the podcast, and immediately the situation flips around. So, like Schefter said here, things can change. Let me actually finish playing the clip. I paused it like part of the way through.
And just because A.J. Brown might have wanted to be traded at one point doesn't mean that he's going to be. Just because you think it's thawing right now, it doesn't mean it will. Don't know how it's going to go yet. It could go a lot of different ways still. But that's the great part of the offseason is there's things that happen that you never would have expected and things that you think are happening. To go back to our previous conversation, that there's usually even more going on behind the scenes than people realize.
All right. So there's super vague comments from Schefter there. But yeah, I mean, it's still technically up in the air, but I really do think AJ's coming back. I don't think that Simply Rex is here. I think AJ just didn't like KP. I don't know if you guys caught this in the comments that he made, but he was like, oh yeah, I think KP did a great job and he has a great heart. And then he like half smiled and then like tried to just move on from it real quick. But yeah, I mean, I like that he didn't come out and just like publicly bash him, but at the same time, I think it's pretty clear, like, a huge reason, the main reason for his frustration last year was the offense, just the offense in general. Oh gosh, when I said all that, all I heard was going down saying after all that. Oh man. But yeah, I don't think AJ is going anywhere. We're gonna see over these next few weeks, but I really do feel good about where that whole situation's at right now. Midas says AJ isn't going anywhere. Nick, Smitty, Howie, Jalen, no one would let that happen. Howie even said he wouldn't trade him. I mean, Howie didn't flat out say that he wouldn't trade him, but he insinuated, hey, like, AJ's a fantastic player. We really don't want to trade great players. Now, to be fair, he said a similar thing about Carson Wentz right before he traded him, but that situation was completely different because you had, Wentz being benched the season before, and just it's not as extreme as that, I don't think. And I don't know, we'll see. AJ's situation, I just think, like, we don't really know everything that's going on. We don't know what happened behind the scenes or how much of a disconnect there is between him and the organization right now. I do feel like that's overblown though. So again, I think that he's trending towards coming back. Now, let's move on to the next guy, which that would be Lane Johnson, because Adam Schefter also had something to say about him today as well. And this is the bigger news. I think this is probably the biggest news of the day. We actually have multiple people commenting on Lane Johnson saying the same thing. So let's Anchorman here says, I think Lane should retire. He deserves it. You got to know when you got nothing left to give. Kelsey knew when to throw in the towel. Here's the thing about that, though, is I don't think that Lane has nothing left to give. I think that Lane's still a really amazing player, one of the best tackles in the league. It's just about, is he going to be healthy or not? But if he feels like his body's in a good place, if he feels healthy, if that foot's good, like, I think he should come back 100%. And even Jason Kelce, like when he walked away from the game, that was, I think that's a little different because yes, he still was playing at a really high level. I think he was first team All-Pro the year before he retired. But he had made it clear, like, his body was freaking beat up and he was in a lot of pain and he just wanted to be able to at least function to somewhat of a normal degree after walking away from football. And I don't know, I mean, Lane Johnson obviously plays offensive line too, so there's a chance that it's similar, but we haven't heard as much about Lane's body just being as banged up as we did with Kelce. So, I do really think that Lane wants to come back. I think that Lane has a lot left to give. Let's get into the news because, I can just give you guys my opinion, but we have actual concrete reports saying that Lane is probably going to be back next year. So here's the one from Adam Schefter. He said on 97.5, quote, "I do expect that Lane Johnson will be back. I have heard the Lane and Dickerson conversation on potential retirement. I don't know how real it is or isn't, but I'd be surprised if Lane Johnson isn't back. I don't know as much about Landon Dickerson." So, Landon, obviously, like I talked about earlier, definitely hope he ends up coming back. I do think it's interesting that he said here he doesn't really know anything about that, or if that's real, or if that's not necessarily super credible. So we'll see if any other reporters come out giving details on that. But either way, great news that he's saying Lane's probably going to come back. And then we also have LaShawn McCoy saying the same thing because apparently he talked to Lane recently. Let me pull up this article from, I believe this is Jimmy Kemsky on the Philly Voice. No, it's Jeff Mosher. Here we go. Let's pull this up as well. So that is not the right thing. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I think I know what I'm doing sometimes, a little bit. And again, I'm still fairly new at these, so we're going to get better. That is my protein powder. But it's also the right thing. That's funny. All right. On the latest episode of Speakeasy, LaShawn McCoy and Emmanuel Acho were debating the Eagles' chances of being elite again in 2026. Acho had concerns about the team's new direction on offense under new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion. McCoy gave several reasons he expected the Eagles to be among the NFC's best and insisted that Johnson, quote, ain't going nowhere. Here's what he said, quote, "I talked to Lane. He ain't going nowhere, but I don't know about Dickerson because he's been banged up. He's put with a lot of pain this year, but I truly feel confident that the Eagles, all the odds makers, I'm sure they'll have us in the NFC side, number 1 or 2 or 3. It's going back to the NFC Championship game. I'm sure of that." So, yeah, pretty much the same thing Schefter's saying, being that he's not sure about what's going to happen with Lane and Dickerson, but he would be shocked if Lane does not come back. And he said that he talked to him there. So that's obviously fantastic news. I mean, we don't really got to dive into how important Lane Johnson is to this team. Yeah, let's read some of chat a little bit. Give me your guys' thoughts on this. I know Anchorman said that he thinks Lane should retire. Oh yeah, and there's the video. I do want to pull up that video. It's going to be interesting though for Lane because he's only ever been coached by Jeff Stoutland. So having a new offensive line coach is going to be interesting. Having a completely new offense to learn is going to be interesting. But that just goes to show you, like, Lane, I don't think ever really did plan on retiring. I don't think that was ever really something that he, at least if these reports are true, I don't think he ever really seriously considered it because, you would think Stout leaving and this new guy coming in and this entirely new offense and the injury would all be reasons for him to walk away, but it's pretty clear that he still wants to play. So, I think that's great. I'm excited about that. Midas said apparently Shady talked to Lane, but at this point, I don't take Shady's comments seriously by how he's been acting towards the Birds. Yeah, to be fair, Shady has said some stuff about Jalen and AJ. It's been frustrating to see that. I don't remember everything that he said, but he has been acting a little weird towards the Eagles recently. So, yeah, but let's see if I can find this video. Okay, Simply Rex says this: looking into the O-line scheme being brought in, it looks like this O-line scheme will be easier on the line than Stoutland's O-line scheme. That's interesting. I haven't really looked too much into that. Could you elaborate on how? Because I'd love to talk about that. Oh, wait, here it is. He says Stoutland focused a lot on opening gaps, whereas Green Bay and the Rams both did full team pushes in specific directions. Okay, so it's like, I guess I could see how that would be less physically taxing. Because, yeah. Okay. I mean, we're going to see. Like, it's really going to be interesting to watch this new offense and just how everything looks. It's going to be completely different from what we've seen for the entire Nick Sirianni tenure. At least it sounds like it's going to be completely different, which is a good thing. Eagles when it all says, I think Lane has more in the tank, but if his body, I'm assuming is what you meant, his body's starting like Jason, maybe retire. But if he's fine, he shouldn't retire. Well, I think he's probably all right. I mean, obviously the injury is still a thing, but he just, let me find this video. Let me find it. I should have pulled this up before I got on stream. Oh, we have the actual Shady clip. I already read that though. I don't have to play that. Here it is. Here's the video. Lane Johnson doesn't look retired, repping a 655 deadlift. I would freaking, dude, my back would snap in half. Look at this guy. I don't think this is somebody who is going to retire. I mean, that's yeah. I think he's going to be good. I think he'll be back. He looks pretty good to me. Looks awfully thin, you say. I feel like that's how he always looks. Is that not the case? Plus, we don't have perspective. Like, if you see him next to a normal looking guy, you're probably not going to say he looks thin. So I saw that. This guy's an animal. 100% this guy's an animal. I mean, if I could ever deadlift 655, I feel pretty good about myself. Midas, Lane is a unit. Yeah. I think he's coming back, guys. I think it seems to me like he's going to be back next year. So that's a good thing. Excited about that for sure. Let's see. Anyone else? Freya says there's another video of him spotting someone today on Rook's Performance. LA. Where? What? Okay. Is whose story is this? It's whatever. I mean, I don't think we really need to look into that. All right, so again, IG story. But whose? A Rook's Performance IG story. I see. I see. This is the thing in the back. Okay. But yeah, so good news. Seems like AJ is leaning towards coming back. Seems like Lane Johnson's definitely coming back. And then we have one more guy to talk about. That being Brandon Graham, who also, it seems like, is going to be coming back next year. That is if the Eagles want him to come back, which I don't see why they wouldn't want him to come back. Let me share this. Because Brandon Graham was on his podcast recently. And My goodness. Yeah. So during his most recent episode of the Unblocked podcast, he was asked about his Eagles' future. He wasted no time in making his desires known. If Howie Roseman makes that call, I'm coming back one more. So again, guys, like there's been a lot of up and down this offseason, but these past couple days we've had some good news. And I think BG, like, you know, what's he, like 37 now? 37 years old. But the crazy thing is, like, last year he came back in the middle of the season, you know, no training camp, no offseason training, probably wasn't in the greatest football shape. Probably wasn't in the greatest football shape to begin with. And he comes in midseason, gets in shape, you know, gets back into the swing of things. And, you know, he started playing at I don't want to say he was playing at a high level, but he was playing pretty. I mean, no, I will say he was playing at a high level because he was barely getting any playing time. That's not what I wanted to do. My fault. He was barely getting any playing time. And this guy comes out, he gets 2 sacks against the Raiders in 7 snaps. And then he had the sack against Washington, I believe. And all while playing the defensive tackle position. Because, you know, they moved him inside for a while there. So, again, I think, you know, and to get him back, it's not like he's going to go to any other team. It's either he's retiring or he's playing for the Eagles. So it's going to be cheap. It's 1-year deal, not really going to impact the cap at all. So you bring him back, you get an extra pass rusher for another season. That's a great leader for the defensive line and just in that room and on the defense. And I think it's just good for the team to have BG around. So, I mean, yeah, definitely great. I think this isn't a surprise, but great news that BG wants to come back. Yeah, somebody Rex says high level new position and going nuts. It was crazy. He barely I'm curious to know what exactly his snap count was. He was playing less than 10% of the defensive snaps and still putting up numbers. Like he was really, really impressive. Yeah, he had 3 sacks. How many games does it say he played in? It says he played in. He definitely played in more than 4 games. Let me see if I can find the snap count numbers because I'm curious. Whoa. Nope. I don't know what's going on with this one website that I used to go on for snap counts, and now it won't let me see anything anymore. It's kind of frustrating. Okay. Brandon Graham. Here we go. He played. Let me pull this up. Bear with me, guys. Here we go. This guy played 113 snaps. He played 10% of the snaps on defense. And he put up 3 sacks and was getting to the quarterback. And he was playing a new position. And he'd just come back mid-season and was not in playing shape at the time. That's impressive. So, I mean, I really do think he could give you 5 to 7 sacks. Best case scenario, if you bring him back 1-year deal, he stays healthy. I really do. I feel like that's not that crazy to say. I mean, he had 3 this year in barely any snaps. So I'm excited about all the recent news. Again, Fly Eagles Fly says Dolphins hiring KP. Yes, KP's gone. AJ seems like he wants to come back. Lane Johnson's coming back. Most likely. Brandon Graham wants to come back. So, all the recent news is good. And I do want to talk about this one other thing because I put out a video yesterday talking about, Dallas Goedert and David Njoku as a potential replacement in free agency if you lose him. I completely missed a huge aspect of this whole thing. I didn't know this, so this my bad. I mean, it goes to show you guys, I'm never gonna claim to be an expert on this stuff, but I missed something big with the Dallas Goedert situation. I wanna find a picture or something. It's fine. I have this post here that I want to read. So I was thinking that it was most likely, yeah, LG's got it here. Backer says, I got church right now. I appreciate your work, bro. I appreciate you. Go have a good time at church, man. Yeah, I appreciate you for coming through. But yeah, so I missed the whole thing where if Goedert leaves, we eat this huge amount of dead money. So I was under the impression, right, that he's probably going to go because it would be expensive to bring him back. Turns out it's actually financially more digestible if you do bring him back. So I want to read this post. I found this on Reddit. I don't know who wrote this, but I've seen multiple other sources say the same thing. I just thought this put it the best. So let me pull this up here. Here we go. Yeah, so it says, I'm posting this as a PSA, and this is, I guess, this is meant for me because I didn't even know this, but because I think a lot of fans are completely oblivious to Goedert's $20.5 million dead cap hit in 2026, despite not currently being on the team for next season. One of the easiest ways for Howie to create a lot of additional cap room is to re-sign Goedert, and he can do that by prorating his new contract and converting the vast majority of his guaranteed money into signing bonuses, which players like because it's money instantly in their hands, and GMs like Howie, because it gives them cap flexibility and relief. You think the hit's 10, Simply Rec? I mean, I could double check that, but when I went on Spot Track, it showed that it was 20. This was the same number. That's interesting. I guess that does change it if it was 10 or if it was 20, like depending on what the number is. That's definitely changes things. Let me go on Spot Track real fast because again, I think that was showing 20. And again, I'm not gonna act like I'm a cap expert or anything. So I'm just kind of like looking at this stuff as you guys. Hold on. Yeah, so here on Spot Track, we have LG says, I think we still pay the 20 million just spread out. Yeah, that's probably true. But how does that even work? Because his contract's expired, so it's not like you can do like a post June 1st type of thing, right? Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work, but if you just look at Spot Track here, you look at the hold on. There you go. You can see it right there. Cap hit 20.5 million for 2026, even though he's not under contract. So I mean, let me see how what this looks like. So yeah, it doesn't really give you anything. It's just saying the pre-release trade, whatever. But yeah, I mean, he's under contract, so that's definitely a huge part of this, because then it almost seems like the smart move, or it definitely seems like the smart move, is to bring him back. I mean, I don't know exactly what the numbers would look like there. This past season, Goedert was paid $10 million for a 1-year deal, and then he went and broke the franchise record for receiving touchdowns, I believe. So I would guess he gets at least 10 million a season, maybe more than that, but I don't want to eat that $20 million dead cap hit. And I'd also love to have Goedert back on the team because he's obviously a great player. And at his best, this past season, he wasn't as good run blocking, but we've seen him consistently throughout his career be a good run blocker, and he was able to stay healthy last year. Now, I wonder if part of that was him kind of deciding, hey, like, this is a contract year. I'm maybe not gonna, throw my body around as much in the run game. That's something I saw somewhere. I don't know who said that. Someone else said that on social media, but yeah, I mean, again, I'd love to have Goedert back. I don't want to eat that $20.5 million in dead cap. So you know, I'll probably talk about this in a video soon, but I definitely preferably would love to have Goedert back. And Midas says here, Jalen Hurts petitioned for Dallas to come back last season, so I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of nudged Howie to do the same this season, which that's a good point as well. Because Goedert has played with Hurts, the entire time that Hurts has been the starter and been a safety blanket for him and great red zone target. They have a really good connection. So yeah, and also I want to say this about Dallas Goedert because I feel like it's kind of easy to forget about him when you just look at this era of Eagles football. But honestly, I feel like Goedert has been the most underrated, underappreciated, just like most overlooked Eagle of this era. Because this guy consistently puts up good numbers. He's a beast. Like he's one of the best tight ends in the game when he's healthy. He's good all around, whether it's pass catching, blocking in the run game. Like he's very valuable for this Eagles team, but he gets overshadowed by everyone else. So, and he never complains either. That's something else that I really appreciate is he's never saying anything about targets or not getting the ball just because he knows reality is that we got AJ Brown, we got Devontae Smith, we got Saquon Barkley. Am I frozen? I'm frozen on my screen. I hope I'm not frozen for you guys. But yeah, we good now? I think we're good now. Hopefully that didn't freeze for you guys. But yeah, we got all these other guys. The reality is that, you can only get so many targets. The ball can't go everywhere. Goedert just embraces whatever they ask him to do. And I really appreciate that about him. Midas says, like that double stiff arm move versus the Packers will always be a highlight play for me. I love that play. I absolutely love that play. That was awesome to watch in real time. All right. So for the few people remaining, first of all, I don't understand why you stuck around for almost an hour, but I appreciate it. I want to do this. So there's 34 of you guys left. I appreciate all you guys. To end off the stream, I had an idea, and hold on. My goodness. Organize your thoughts, dude. So I had this idea to just do a quick stay or go rapid fire from you guys as to, for the Eagles free agents. So we're going to list off all the Eagles pending free agents, and you guys are going to pick stay or go or what you guys think is going to happen. And I'm going to write it down, and then I'm going to try and incorporate it into a video fairly soon. So I thought that'd be a cool idea. I don't exactly know how this is going to work because, again, I'm fairly new at streaming, and I think there's a little bit of a delay on this thing. So I'm not we're going to see how this goes. And also, it's not like I can really set up a poll or anything unless I can. Can I do that? Can I set up polls? That would take too long, though, probably. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to say the player. You guys are going to put your opinion. I'm going to write it down. And then we're going to see what we got. So all you guys, even the people that haven't been typing, type in chat what you think. So let's start running through here. I have a Google Doc open. I have all the guys listed out. And again, we're going to talk plenty more about free agency as we get closer and closer to it. But let's start with Brandon Graham, who we just talked about. What do you guys think about Brandon Graham? Stay or go? Stay or go? I really hope that there's no delay on this. Chad, I appreciate. Are you talking about me? Everyone's saying so far we got 3 stays. Yeah, I would 100% agree. I mean, we just talked about this. All right, stay. Everyone's saying stay. All right, Jalen Phillips. What do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to happen? This is not what you want to happen. This is what you think is going to happen, by the way. So give me Jalen Phillips predictions. Somebody Rex says stay. I don't know who else would stay. Everyone think so. Do we actually think that he's going to stay, or are we just saying he's going to stay because we want him to stay? But in reality, we can't afford that. So, like, do we think JP stay? Vic won't be happy with how JP goes. Stay. I think we should prioritize keeping Carter and Davis. I agree with that. Phillips goes. We have most people saying stay. All right. Savage says Jalen, I think, will sort of sign elsewhere. Understandable either way. It'd be cool for him to stay because of how much he loves it here. Yeah, I mean, I kind of go back and forth with this one as well, so I understand. Well, hold on. Let's just go one at a time. Let's go one at a time. Phillips. So everyone, last call. Everyone, even if you already typed, post it again. What is your final thoughts on Phillips? Stay or go? Yeah, I wish I was able to like poll you guys. It'd be a way easier way of doing this. People seem to be leaning towards stay with Phillips, so I think that's what I'm going to. Goes. Multiple people saying go now. Should we do like 50-50? Should I write down 50-50? Stay. People seem to be pretty split. Should I write split? We can do that. Because again, this is gonna hopefully I'm gonna try and incorporate this into a video. Yeah, we'll say 50-50. We'll say 50. Well, no, we'll just say split. All right, Aziz Ojulari. I think everyone's probably gonna say go. RS, I mean, I don't think that it's impossible to pay him. It depends on what exactly he goes for and what our cap situation is looking like, depending on the moves that we make. So we're going to see. I mean, there's a chance that he gets like 20 plus million. We can't afford it. But if he gets like 16, maybe you can. Everyone says, okay, so far we got, well, it's from the same couple people. Rest in peace. Stays for cheap. 1-year deals. These will likely go. Everyone. Yeah, all right. I think it's safe to say everyone's saying go. We'll just say go for Aziz. All right, Josh Uche, what do you guys think? Uche's man, that's a tough one for me. Same with Ojulari, because when they got both of them, like I was excited about both those guys, and I thought given more playing time, they could have been productive. They just never really got a chance to play very much, and Ojulari also was dealing with that injury. So Uche stays, you think? I don't really care, but he should go. Eagles win it all says. All right, this is Uche now. So everyone give me your thoughts on Uche. Uche has more of a ceiling. He will go. If he's cheap, sure, but he's probably gone. I don't know about this one, Savage says. Bye. All right. Everyone's saying go. All right, after this Dame Time edits, last comment. That's the last one I just read. It says gone. Now we're going to switch to Ogbo Okoronkwo. What do we think about him? I think I don't. Why would you keep him around? No reason. No reason to keep him around. Yeah. Dame Time edits. Who? Who even is he? He was the guy that we kept over like our one rookie, and I don't understand why we did that. Everyone's saying Agbo's gone. All right, gone. Yeah, that one, whatever. Kobe Dean, this is a tough one. What do you guys think is going to happen after? So Savage, this is the last comment that I read right here regarding Agbo. So from now on, what's your guys' thoughts on the Kobe Dean? This is a tough one because I would love for Nakobe to stay, but let's be realistic here. You know, I want him to stay, but do we actually think that we can afford that, or that's a smart thing to do? Nakobe stays, he might get tagged, you're saying. I don't know, Scar. I don't know. Because we don't tend to use the franchise tag. Also, what's the franchise tag value for linebackers? It's probably higher than what Nakobe will get paid. Well, actually, I don't know that. I swear if Nakobe signs with the Cowboys. We have Jihad, unfortunately gone. What do you guys think? What is Nakobe's tag? Let me look it up. What is the franchise tag for inside linebacker? Yeah, there's no shot he gets tagged. There's no shot he gets tagged. There's no shot. You guys want to know what the franchise tag is for a linebacker? It's $27 million. There's no shot. That's not happening. All right. What are we saying for Nakobe? Come on, guys. We got to rapid fire through these. Because we still got... All right. I think the general consensus is he's going to go. I think people want him to stay, but... What? Stay, gone. Yeah, everyone just put stay or gone. All right. I think it's I think we're kind of saying everyone's kind of saying go. I mean, there's a few exceptions. Unfortunately, that's the same way I feel. Like I want to keep him, but I don't think he's coming back. Fred Johnson. What do we think about Fred Johnson? Last comment I read, Eagles win it all. I don't really care, but he should go. All right, Fred Johnson, what do we think? I would love to have Fred back, but at the same time, Fred Johnson stays. This one will depend on Lane's decision. I agree with that, Savage, because Fred wants to be a starter. And if Fred isn't going to be a starter here, then he's going to go somewhere else where he thinks he can be. Stay. Everyone, we think he's going to stay, or I'll just let you know my opinion right now is he's going to go. But everyone's saying stay. All right, we'll say stay then. I think he's going to go though, because I think he wants to be a starter, and Lane is going to come back, but we'll see. All right, last comment I read, Leo Jacob says stay, depends on Lane. Brett Toth, what do we think about that? What do you think about Brett Toth? I mean, honestly, like everyone gives Brett Toth crap, but he was not terrible as a depth lineman this year. He wasn't great, but he wasn't the worst. Toth goes. Gone, please. Frankie says gone, please. Guys, I don't know how these streamers sit here and talk for 5 hours, because I start to lose my voice after 1 hour of talking. To be fair, I have done 5-hour streams though. I've done a couple. You're saying Toth goes, gone, please. He'll be cheap. Stay was a good backup. Leave. Bro was actually a decent backup. I agree. Gone. Stay. Are we kind of split with this one? I think we seem to be split here. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people saying leave. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people saying keep. So we'll say split. That's not how you spell that. Split. Matt Pryor. All right, Matt Pryor was bad this year. Content creation isn't easy, but when you have who to when you have dude, I'm tweaking out right now. It's not easy. It's not as hard as some other jobs out there, though. We'll say that. Prior leave, gone, goes, horrible. Stay. Wow, someone said stay. Gone, horrible. Yeah, I think no need to bring him back. Go, bye. Braden Mann, 100% I want him to stay. People to talk to. There we go. Yes. Well, especially when you're live streaming, You ran a content team for 6 years, bro. I might gotta get you on. This whole thing's a solo operation. Actually, that's not true. I have someone that helps me get brand deals, but other than that, the channel itself is just me. So, if I ever need to bring someone on, I'll consider you. Everyone says man stays. I appreciate that, Frankie. Says you have a gift and a dream. You're doing great. I do appreciate that. Everyone's saying stay for Braden Man. All right. Stay. That's what I want. Sam Howell. I don't think it really matters. You're a solo operation for Apex tournaments. Oh, wow. Dude, you would cook me. I'm terrible at games like that. They're fun. I just suck at them. All right. The last comment I read was stay. From Christian. So this is Sam Howell. Howell's gone, goes, bye-bye. I think we're all pretty much going to be saying question mark. This one will kind of depend on if Howie trades Tanner McKee. That's a good point, and that's actually something that I haven't talked about at all this offseason, really. But yeah, I'm going to have to remember. Yeah, practice squad Hal. Stays depends on lane. What do you mean? You're probably behind in the stream. Sam was just there to laugh at the That's a good point. He was probably like, what is going on in Philly? What is this freaking playbook? Well, hold on. Let's just stick with Hal for now. Let's get that. Everyone, okay, go. Bye-bye, goes. Hal's gone. Says depends on. Yeah, Savage is saying it depends on if Howie trades Tanner McKee, which that's true. I mean, I could see them going either way, but you guys are saying gone, so we'll put gone. All right, AJ Dillon. Come on, guys. We got how many left? We got 6 left. Rapid fire. AJ Dillon. What do we think? Can we just take a moment of silence for the Finns? I think we can just laugh at them, honestly. The only HA we want is AJ Brown. Dillon goes, waste of a roster spot last year. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. Dillon's gone or practice squad, but yeah, he didn't really do anything. Gone. Yeah, I was excited when they signed him, but he didn't do anything. It's a shame. I mean, the injury. That injury really derailed his career. Gone. Yeah. All right. AJ Dillon, we're saying gone. Reed Blankenship. Reed Blankenship, guys. This one I'm also kind of split on. This one, Tank Bigsby was way better, 100%. Do not separate the two white boys on D. I want Reed back. I do. Stay, keep. Eagles when it all says go. Exciting whites. Dude. Stay, maybe. Need, I think, let go of Goedert. And, well, we're going to get to Goedert in a second. Go Goedert and draft a good tight end. Flame, they're going to stay if they... Well, we just talked about that cap hit, though. Reed goes, unfortunately. I think he'll take a friendly deal to stay, Midas says. Okay, I think it's kind of split so far. A couple people saying he's going to go. A couple people saying that he'll stay. Eagles win it all. Now you're saying stay. You switched it up. I think Reed stays because I heard from ESPN a few months ago an extension was in progress. Huh. I didn't see that. Huh. Stays. All right. Stay. We're saying stay for Reed, which is what I would prefer. Goedert, what do we think? We just talked about this. The cap hit. He doesn't need a giant contract. You're correct. This is the last. He's probably like, I don't want to say that. Stupid meme. Like the $7 million, you think, a year. But this is the last contract I read about, Dame Time Edits. Last comment I read about Reed. What about Goedert? I think let go of Goedert and draft a good tight end. You're saying. You sure it was a Schefter one, Savage? I missed that. Stay, Midas says for Goedert. Frankie Ray saying gone. Eagles one else says don't matter. It does matter, I think. If Goedert stays or goes. I think it definitely matters. Keep one more contract. Yeah, I mean, again, guys, if you miss this part of the stream, Goedert, if he walks in free agency, we have to eat a $20 million dead cap hit. So I think that makes it more likely that he stays. What do we think? I want him to stay, but I think not likely. He will want a big contract. Gone, sadly, a tight end 3rd round. He has to stay. He did have 11 touchdowns. Yeah, he had a good year. He had a really good year. I don't know, guys. I was thinking Goedert was gonna go probably yesterday, but I'm kind of more leaning towards him staying now because of the fact that the Eagles probably don't want to eat $20 million in dead cap. Oh, excuse me. But you guys are saying gone. All right. I'm going to write gone. I'm going to write gone unless you guys want to final thoughts here. Change it. But I'm going to say gone. All right, I'm writing gone for Goedert. You guys can change that if you want to. Calcaterra. I think everyone's going to say the same thing here. Dame Time says, why on earth's tarnation would we sign Can't Blockatera over Goedert? Yeah, man. He would. The Eagles have a $20 million cap hit if he's a free agent. I don't know. Yeah, I don't either, dude. I mean, I do these videos, but I'm not a cap expert by any means. Definitely stay. You saying stay for Calcaterra? Simply Rex says Can't Blockatera can go home. Grant gone. We need to draft a backup. I agree. Draft a tight end. A Minecraft fence post blocks better than this guy. We need a backup. You're saying. Agree with Dame. Dame said, yeah. Probably gone. Feel like his contract's up. So why hit? Yeah, okay. Everyone. Yeah. Dragster's asking about the Goedert cap hit. I guess it's just the way they structured it. Again, I'm not a cap expert, but if he does leave, then we eat $20 million in dead cap. Midas says, I think it's a little delayed. I said stay for Dallas. All right. What are we? Everyone's kind of saying Grant's gone. We're going to say, I've been typing gone recently. I changed from go to gone. I feel like I got to OCD switch these now. Guys, okay, Goedert and Calcaterra. I feel like we've gotten a little mixed up these last couple. So final thoughts on Goedert and Calcaterra. All right. This is the last comment I just read from Frankie Ray. I want to just clarify. Everyone's saying gone for Goedert, gone for Calcaterra. Is that what we're saying? Just want to double check that, and then we'll move to the last two, and then we'll get out of here. But I appreciate you guys for hanging around and participating in this. I didn't really know if this was something you guys would be interested in doing, so I appreciate you guys hanging out and being in the stream. Dallas might resign. Grant's gone. Calcaterra gone. We got to keep one of the tight ends. Well, which one? Grant can't block. I would say Goedert. Well, I don't know. I'm like kind of on the fence with Goedert, but I'm more leaning towards stay now since the dead cap hit. Whereas with Calcaterra, I'm just like, the guy had a terrible season last year. He wasn't really a threat in the passing game, nor was he. I mean, he's horrible at blocking, and they kept having him do it. So I don't see why you would bring him back. And yeah, all right. Let's go to Granson. We got 38 of you guys left in here. Just type stay or go. Just type just stay or go. That's it. Kylan Granson. Go. Stay or go. Go, go. Stays. Go, I guess. Go. Stay. And go, go. All right. Granson. Bye, buddy. All right. Jahan Dotson, last one. Everyone type stay or go. This is the last comment I read. Who is Kylan Granson? This is the last comment I read about Granson. Now it's Dotson. Everyone say stay or go. I sure hope Jahan signs elsewhere, so it's pretty much guaranteed AJ Brown stays. Keep. Dotson goes. Stay. Keep. He'll be cheap. Stay. Go. Anyone else? Stay or go for Dotson? Seem to be split here. Savage is saying you hope Jahan signs elsewhere. He says keep, stay, go, stay. He's saying stay if AJ leaves, but I don't think AJ's leaving. Stay. People are saying stay. There's only a couple goes. Secret weapon. I agree. Oh, Simply Rex saying. All right, so we're saying stay for Dotson. Is that the final verdict on that? All right, we're going to say stay for Dotson. All right, that's the list. That took a while, but I appreciate all you guys for hanging out. Let's go through the list one more time. So we're saying Brandon Graham, stay. Jalen Phillips, we're split on. Ojulari, gone. Uche, gone. Ogbo, Okoronkwo, gone. Nakobe Dean, gone. Fred Johnson, stay. Brett Toth, we're split on. That's a weird one to be split on. Okay. Nat Pryor, gone. Braden Mann, stay. Sam Howell, gone. AJ Dillon, gone. Reed Blankenship, stay. Goddard, gone. Calcaterra, gone. Granson, gone. Dotson, stay. We're good with that? We're all good with that? I think we're good with that. All right, guys. Well, I ended up staying on here for an hour and almost 20 minutes. So I appreciate all you guys for hanging out. Especially the ones that obviously stayed this entire time. I'm going to try and be back here on Wednesday next week. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more to talk about. Hopefully we'll have a little more structure to the stream. I will get better at this, guys. I will. I feel like it's fun. I like doing these. I like hanging out with you guys, but I would like to get I'd like to have like more events and stuff to get you guys interacting a little bit more. And yeah, I don't know. I got some ideas. Again, I'm going to get better at this, but I appreciate all you guys for coming through. I know I'm doing fine. I just need to I want to add stuff to the show. I want to like branch out a little bit and make it a little more fun for everyone. So, but yeah. So I appreciate all you guys for coming through. I'll probably have a video out tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, with all that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.